everybody, I'm Bill the Adjuster with your Smart Claim Tip. And every once in a while, I get something in the mail from a local insurance agent or right down the street, or just open up an office, or we send you a quote and they pull some databases to find out how much insurance you have or what you paid for your house. And they send you basically an unreal offer on homeowners insurance. But it's such a good deal. The problem is it really isn't. I've followed through with so many of these to ultimately get a final quote and never been successful in even getting something that was reasonable if you asked for the right coverages. So this famous painting, I forget who did it years ago, but it's, you look at that, you see the skeleton, but it's women and a vanity looking at each other. So really that, is what it is or isn't what it is. I'm not sure. I can tell you one thing, that the premium doesn't reflect coverage, meaning how much you pay for an insurance policy and the amount of coverages that they give you does not reflect how the claim or claims will be paid or handled. They're actually not related to each other. It's kind of hard to believe, but if you say I have this, this, and this on the front page, and the next company says I'll give you this, this, and this on the front page, that does not mean they're even similar. I always say that it's the shell game. So if they list all the coverages as the same, but they don't agree to pay the damages when they happen, what good is it if I have $100,000 in coverage on my house, and when it's damaged, they say we're not going to pay for it? I'd rather get a company that paid $100,000 towards my $100,000 in damage than a company that doesn't pay it or reduce that amount of coverage substantially. It can be a really tricky world. But all of the information inside of a homeowner's policy is written at a very high level with a lot of complicated back and forth language, but it really isn't reflected in that coverage sheet that you purchase your policy based on. Agents often quote your policy based on the amount of coverages that you need. That doesn't mean that the policy addresses them at all, even similar. So the term integrity is, doing what's right even when no one is watching. And ironically, the good insurance companies don't advertise on the radio, they don't advertise on TV, they don't have the big campaigns that you see out there all day long with the, shop for us, will save you money. The reason they don't do that is because they don't have to. Their clients don't leave them. Their model isn't about just getting people to come in and pay premium. Their model is more about doing what's right, and we won't lose customers, and we'll slowly build and increase our business. Those companies that you see advertising all day long on the media, on television, on the news, on the radio, generally don't offer the same level of policy or claim payments that occur on the more premium policies that you'll probably never see or hear on the radio and news. There's actually a really cool advertisement by Chubb. It's a very good insurance company, Chubb and Ace. And Chubb's advertisement, it's a radio ad, and the radio ad is some classical music that gets played for about maybe 30 seconds. And at the end of the classical music, it says, "This musical interlude brought to you by the Chubb Group of Insurance Companies." And that's all it is. But all of a sudden, and they do it on like Bloomberg radio and financial stations, and their clientele is more of the higher end market, but people that are interested in monetary things that might be listening to, say, Bloomberg. So it's your insurance. If you understand the difference here, most auto claims are involving you hitting somebody else. It's generally not your high-end collectible car, at least it's not for me. But most people, if we get in an accident in our car, we hand our insurance card to someone else and they have to deal with them. So I look at that as, you can go deal with my insurance company, and it really doesn't matter. They ultimately settle the claim, and as frustrating as it may be for the person that I was in a fender bender with, it really doesn't affect me. But on my property insurance, my homeowner claim, I really want to be paid fairly. I want to be paid the way I want my house. I want my house rebuilt the way I want it done. So when you buy homeowners insurance, don't think about it as a price or an expense. It's a policy that will ultimately pay you when damages occur, and you want to be paid fairly, and you want it to be paid the way you need it, and use your contractors. So I don't think shopping for price is all that important here. Now, we don't sell insurance. I can tell you that you're much happier when you buy a better policy and you have a claim because they ultimately pay that claim much better. Good coverage can be a little bit expensive, but it's not that expensive. It's a few dollars more a year. Not getting in exact dollars, but let's say your premium was $300 or $500 more a year. You'd have to go 10 years to spend, say, $5,000. The difference between a claim with a good carrier and a marketed carrier like you see on TV every day could be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. So it really makes a lot of sense to invest in your insurance that protects your home and pay properly for something that ultimately is going to send you the payment, give you the service, and treat you properly. I can tell you right now that inferior policies cost people hundreds of thousands of dollars on claims that would be paid by a policy that may have been $1,000 more a year. Policies that would have paid unlimited for damages such as sump pump, they would pay unlimited up to the coverage of the house versus a lesser policy that either has no coverage, a $5,000 or $10,000 limit, but they had $100,000 worth of damage, you're only going to get that on a premium policy. So in this case, it makes sense to look at your homeowner's insurance as your insurance. You're not protecting somebody else. For the most part, it does come with liability coverages and dog bites and slip and falls and all that stuff. But almost all insurance claims on your home are filed to protect you and pay you for damages that have occurred to put your house back in the condition that you want. So take a look at it in a little different light, much like the medical insurance world. When you go to the doctors or you go to the pharmacy, you want them to cover the cost of your prescription and you want it to be paid fairly so your out-of-pocket expense is low. And that's the kind of the parallel view you need to do on a homeowner policy. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm Bill the Adjuster. You can share this video. We offer unlimited consultations. If you have a specific question, you want to email me, you can send that email to smartclaim@metropa.com. If you have another question, you can talk to whoever gave you the video. You can ask them for some help, but hopefully you can share the video and kind of help somebody else's day along. And this is Bill the Adjuster, and have a good one.